In this lecture, we're going to update the speed of our enemies. As for our players, they will remain unaffected by the scriptable object. Currently, enemies move slowly. This is great for patrolling, but not so great for chasing players. Enemies should move faster while chasing the player. By doing so, it'll be difficult to escape. Let's use the stats for the enemies to manipulate the speed of the agent. First, we must create a method for changing the agent's speed. In Visual Studio Code, open the Movement component. In this component, we have a reference to the Agent component. The Agent component has a property for modifying the speed of the agent. Technically, we could update this variable to be public. By doing so, we'll be able to manipulate this property. However, I prefer to define a public method for solely modifying the speed. Otherwise, all properties from the Agent component will be exposed. Unless a class needs this information, we should limit what can be updated from our class. At the bottom of the class, define a method called updateAgentSpeed. This method will accept the new speed of the agent as a parameter. Add a parameter called newSpeed with the float type. Within this method, set the agent.speed variable to the newSpeed parameter. The next step is to call this method. But when should we update the speed? The answer is from the state's respective enterState method. If the enemy enters the return state, they'll return to walking. If they enter the chase state, they'll start running. Let's open the return state file. At the top of the enterState method, call the enemy.movement component.updateAgentSpeed method with the enemy.stats.walkSpeed variable. Next, open the chase state file. We're going to call the same method from the same location. This time, we'll pass in the enemy.stats.runSpeed variable. After making those changes, let's try checking our game. Head over to Unity. Let's try playing the game. If we try forcing the enemies to chase us, it'll take a while before they give up. Their speed increases slightly, which can make our game challenging. Feel free to adjust the speeds as you see fit. We've successfully implemented stats for our characters. This section was short, but hopefully you see the power of scriptable objects. In future sections, we're going to add more scriptable objects. In the next section, let's start replacing the 3D models and adding animations.